Hey, good morning. Welcome back to the Good Morning Artesia radio show. Hope you're doing well on this football Friday afternoon or Friday morning. What is it, morning, Linda?
I think so still.
It's the morning? Okay.
Yeah.
It's a long day.
It's hard.
Long day.
And this getting up in the dark again is like, oh my. And then the part I hate is getting dark early. I don't have enough time to do work outside.
Yeah, that's true.
Then you have to devote your weekend.
And I like sitting out on the patio, but the flies have just been this.
Well, it used to be the mosquitoes. You know, you get a good looking backyard and you want to sit out there and admire it, but the mosquitoes are trying to, have lunch, supper, and dinner on your leg all at the same time. And yeah,
gets kind of
not a good thing.
It's kind of frustrating. The Carlsbad shooting range near Happy Valley is closed through today.
Okay.
National Guard is conducting biological surveys.
All right.
So that's today. The last community farmers market is tomorrow. I don't know if you've had a chance to peruse that this summer.
Yes.
Tomorrow's the last one.
Well, get down and take advantage.
Yeah.
It's got some pretty cool stuff.
402 West Grand. They'll be there tomorrow, 8 to 11, and then...
Adios until next year.
Until next year. Let's see. New Mexico Agriculture Day is tomorrow at the Pan Am Center in Las Cruces. It's also going to be at Aggie Memorial Stadium Northeast parking lot. It's also the Aggies homecoming. They're playing Hawaii tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
So tomorrow is Ag Day, hosted by the New Mexico Department of Agriculture and New Mexico State University College of Agriculture, Environmental, and Consumer Sciences. New Mexico Beef Council is a title sponsor. They're going to have exhibits, dozens of agricultural organizations, business, nonprofits, and student organizations. So if you're going to go to Las Cruces for the Aggie homecoming, go a little early. Go by Ag Day. Then coming up on the 28th, which is Tuesday, there's going to be a vaccination clinic at NMSU Carlsbad, 10 to 5. There's going to be a blood drive on Tuesday in Roswell at the Roswell Community Center from 11 to 2:30. That's on Tuesday. And that was also on Tuesday. Where's my my notice here? This doesn't benefit you or me unless we want to get a booster shot, but Artesia General has one more vaccination clinic.
I think that's Thursday, isn't it?
It's
whatever the 29th is?
Wednesday. Wednesday the 29th. And if you are getting your first dose, anybody who gets their first dose is in a drawing for $500. If you're getting your second dose, anybody that's in a drawing
for $500.
And if you're getting a booster,
you're in a drawing for $500.
Right. So they're going to give away $1,500 on Wednesday the 29th, 8 to 4 at the Green Chili Cafe. So you can get a burrito and a booster.
All right. They remodeled that, did a wonderful job, never had a chance to be open because COVID hit. It would be nice for that restaurant to be open again.
That's where I got my vaccine.
That's where I got mine.
Was in the Green Chili Cafe.
Yes.
And they didn't have any food out.
I know.
I was shocked.
There was lots of chairs and people and needles.
That's right.
But this Saturday is also Household Hazardous Waste Day at the beach parking lot in Carlsbad.
Okay.
Now, this is not just for Carlsbad. This is for Eddy County. So if you're residential and you have stuff, as in tires, fertilizers, paint thinner, gasoline, oil, cleaning products, that doesn't mean the little scrubbies and the Ajax from under your kitchen sink. I'm not exactly sure what kind of cleaning products, but I do know it's, obviously you already pour those down a drain, so that's not what they want.
Okay.
Pesticides, antifreeze, batteries, old cell phones, e-waste, and fluorescent light tubes.
Oh.
And all you have to do is drive up, and they will unload, or you may unload. Of course, they're going to ask you, well, what did you bring? Because obviously, hazard.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that word, but I'm not sure what company it is that comes and does this, but they have containers and they properly package all this stuff to properly dispose of it, haul it off, and relieve you of some of this. I've had people call me and say, well, be sure and call me when they do another one. And
so there's this, you can bring your e-waste to this one.
You could.
Okay.
If you're just can't hold it until next June.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
Well, when they ask you what are you bringing, the answer is not, well, we're shutting down the meth lab.
Well, I guess if you really were and you wanted to get rid of it, but that would be better than throwing it in the garbage or the landfill or.
Yeah.
Hazard is a word there for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And, because one time somebody brought me a little bit of mercury in a jar because they didn't know what to do with it. I have all the brilliant answers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they think that, but at least I will ferret out an answer. And I knew, of course, when they had this, I could take it over there.
Okay.
And I did, and they, properly disposed of it.
Right.
So.
Mercury, probably one of the more common places was in thermometers.
Yes, and when I was a kid, I think people broke their thermometers, kids, just for grins, so they could bring it to school and put it in your hand, watch it roll around, put your finger on it, and it burst into a bunch of little round balls, and then it came back together, and and we all lived to tell about it. Nobody got mercury poisoning.
Well,
of course, nobody ate it either.
You didn't eat it and didn't have long-term exposure to it.
No.
But if you have long-term exposure to those types of things, it's a problem. So,
sure.
Yeah. Yeah, but they don't use that in the thermometers nowadays.
Mm-mm.
And now we have all these digital thermometers.
Oh, wouldn't those have been grand when we were little?
Yeah.
Or kids, because it was so difficult. How do you teach a kid to hold it under their tongue or under their arm? Or, there are other, areas that they put thermometers when I was a kid, which were not, appropriate.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, now they just kind of like aim it at you and zap it, and it magically tells. I remember when they came out with little strips of course, they weren't paper, they were some sort of plastic that had
mercury.
Colors. They put it on your forehead, and whatever color said you had a temperature, or the ones that, digital, actually, they were small, but you still had to put them in your mouth.
Yeah.
We've come a long way, as
we
they
really
say.
have. Yeah.
So how accurate these are, that they just aim at you, I have no clue, but they work and people accept it. So
that's right. That's right. How accurate it is, it's hard to tell. I will tell you, I had a reason to see a medical professional this week, and when they checked my temperature, the temperature was matching up with, the last few times that I'd hit it with the scanner. So. It looks like I'm not running a temperature of any kind, so that's a good thing.
Yes.
So. And then I always like to check to see, because they tell you what your blood pressure is, and then they tell you, what your pulse rate. And I always like to compare it to the Apple Watch, because the Apple Watch will tell you what your heart rate is.
Ah.
And the Apple Watch will do an ECG. It's not an EKG, but it's an ECG. And obviously, it's not the same as when they hook you up to the thing, but it does give you kind of an indication as to what's going on with your heart rate and stuff like that. So I always like to compare and see, well, just how close is the Apple Watch to,
of course,
to these professional medical devices here.
Well, if you want to take part in the household hazardous, it will be from 8 to 2.
Okay.
So keep that in mind.
And that's at the beach in Carlsbad.
Beach parking lot. So, and they're also having River Blitz tomorrow.
Okay.
Which is kind of a cool thing. Suggested cleanups: Black River, Diving Rock, Lake Avion, the front and back, McNew area, Hiley Hole, the Shouts, which is off Captain Reef Road, and Brantley Dam.
Okay.
Ask me if I've heard of any of these. A couple of them. Yeah, so I'm sure if you've lived here and taken part in areas that have water over in that area, you're much more familiar than I. But I had a crew one time that came in and got supplies because they were livid at the condition of the shoreline over there in an area. They took a trash trailer.
Wow.
Literally, and almost filled it. They were so appalled. And they used that area all the time, and the more they saw it, the more irritated they got. So they called me, like, Reow! And I said, okay, I have bags.
Yeah.
Come get them. Not a problem, you know. But people, seriously, if you're going to use an area, you haul all this stuff in. After you eat it, it's smaller. Haul it back out.
Yeah.
Take your trash with you. It should be cleaner when you leave than when you got there.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
if you see something, pick it up. It's not difficult.
Yeah.
You know, you need to respect these because, well, just like right now, the water is up, it's full.
Right.
Whatever was laying there that was trash is now washed into the lake.
Yep.
Is that where it belongs? No. So, you know, you're part of the problem.
Yeah.
If you can't haul off your trash, don't go use the lake.
Yeah.
Simple solution.
No, it's whether you use the lake, the park, you go for a hike.
Well, yeah, anywhere.
Whatever it is, wherever you go.
If you use the skate park here, any of our parks, there are garbage cans. There are dumpsters. Those things are there for a reason. If you're not familiar with them, open the lid, drop your stuff in. Very simple.
Well, let me ask you this. Sometimes you go to a park and the trash receptacle is full. Who do you call in that situation?
That's the city's
is there an
job.
email? Is there a website? Is there a place that you can post and say, hey, I was at,
such and such.
such
Yeah.
and such park and the dumpster was overflowing or
Yeah.
the garbage can was overflowing.
Well-
Is there anybody you can report that to? Because sometimes there's family picnics and people do try to take it to the garbage can.
Right.
And then the garbage can's full and they're like, well, what am I supposed to do with it here? Now, I have an answer. Take the Walmart sacks or the Fenn sacks or, whatever sacks from whatever grocery store, put all the stuff in there and take it out with you.
Well, yes.
To another place.
Yes.
But if you want to be a good citizen and say, there's some trash receptacles that need to be cleaned up, who do you call?
You've got to call the city.
Call the city.
Because
okay.
they're the ones that pick it up. It is a city park, and they're the ones that are supposed to be dumping the trash cans all the time. Another problem is people decide, ooh, there's a trash can. I can clean out my car. Seriously.
Seen some of that.
And then
yeah.
they fill it up.
Yep.
And dumpster etiquette. When you put trash in a dumpster, don't just sit it right in the front. I don't mean outside the dumpster. I mean the front part inside the dumpster.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you really open the lid, the whole back half of the dumpster is empty, but all this trash is sticking out. Just shove it back in there.
Yep.
Very simple.
Here's something else that irritated the daylights out of me the other day. I was in a parking lot at a retail store. Lana had gone in. I'm in the car. I was admiring the 1979 Ford LTD that was parked in front of me. Okay, next to me is an empty space. Next to that empty space is a car.
Okay.
Okay. Lady comes out of the store. She's got her shopping cart. She empties her stuff from the shopping cart into her car, which is the car
Right.
one space over from me. She comes out of the car, driver's side, comes over to the passenger side, and precisely and perfectly parks the cart in the middle of the empty parking space.
Of course she does. Yes.
Okay? We are 20 feet from the front of the store. And she didn't just leave it there, she perfectly placed it in the middle of the empty parking space. The time that she took to perfectly place the shopping cart in the middle of the empty parking spot,
Yeah.
she could have been to the front of the store
Oh, yeah.
with the shopping cart. So I got out of the truck and I said, ma'am, I will take care of that for you. And I grabbed it and walked it back to the store. What is it with people that leave
They're
the shopping
so-
carts in the middle of the parking lot?
Well, or right at the end where you have to, of course, I did get to watch one time a cart got justice, shall we say.
Uh-oh.
Yes, this is very nice, big SUV, and they left their cart right at the back of their SUV.
Uh-oh.
Well, they also backed up. Yeah. You know, and I was standing there watching it, and I kind of like, do you kind of see me motioning to you a little bit? You have a cart right there.
Yeah.
And they whacked it. But I thought, they used to have a lot more cart returns.
Yeah. Well, I understand
and you could look
that.
for them, but those got mutilated because people backed into them or ran into them or whatever. But I have taken 2 and 3 back at a time because I get so. It's a pet peeve, you might say. How lazy can you be?
Yeah.
I have taken them into a store. And I'm not talking about just here. I'm talking about even Roswell.
Yeah.
You have a cart. Or if you have 1 or 2 or 3 bags that are lightweight, why are you pushing that cart with those bags all the way out there? Take them out, leave the cart inside the store.
Yeah.
Very simple.
Yeah.
If you can lug 7 or 8 bags on one arm when you get home, you can certainly carry 3 with you.
Well, and sometimes you'll see people and they'll push the cart to an empty spot away from their car, and then they'll look around
to make sure there's nobody seeing them, watching.
Yeah, and so at that point, you want to honk the horn and say, boop boop, hey,
Yeah.
put it over there. But I have never understood that is one of those puzzles.
Yeah.
Of mysteries of life is.
Let's buy the oil and change the oil there in the parking lot and leave all the bottles and cans right there in the, where your vehicle was.
Been a little bit of that going on.
My
Or changing the baby's diaper and then just leaving the dirty diaper in the middle of the parking lot.
People are such pigs.
I know.
I just don't get it. I don't understand why people don't care.
Yeah.
Who do they think is going to clean up after them?
The worst one was we were in a fast food restaurant. Not here. This was in Roswell. And they changed the baby on the table there in the
good God.
In the dining area at the fast food restaurant. Well, maybe it wasn't on the table. It was on the chair. It was on the bench.
Okay.
See? But still.
Yeah.
That's why they have these in the bathrooms.
Changing
tables in the bathrooms. Mm-hmm. I don't understand, Linda. I don't know where people are coming from, and it starts with simple things like going to Champion Cove and having a big party, and then just leaving all the trash out there to not be picked up for somebody else. I don't get it.
They could always close it and not let anybody in to utilize it.
But that's not fair to the vast majority of the people that do properly take care of things.
Right.
So we all get punished because of something like that. I wish, we used to have fines that say, if you throw trash or whatever, and I don't think
they
the fines
have to be reinforced.
That's right.
Or not reinforced, enforced.
Enforced, yeah.
It's just like litter. Somebody, you throw it out, somebody sees it. If a cop sees it and doesn't bother to stop and give them a ticket because he thinks it's not that important,
yeah.
Come on. If you don't start enforcing these things, it's not going to change. And the way to make it change is to make the fine hurt in the billfold.
Yeah.
When it says you can be fined up to $1,500, fine them. Start out. If they do it again, keep an eye on them. If they do it again, double that fine.
It seems like some of the state parks and some of the locations, and this is not their fault, this is the directive, they're more worried about enforcing mask mandates than they are enforcing...
Well, if you throw your mask on the ground, that's litter. You should be fined for it.
Yeah. But the thing is, they probably will fine you for not wearing it as opposed to throwing it on the ground. But
it's still litter. Yeah.
But you're right. It's still litter, and it's kind of litter you don't really want to pick up.
Well, I've had people call me lately. They'll call the city, and the city directs them to me. I guess the city doesn't want to deal with hard answers or things that they don't have an answer to. I had a gentleman call the other day, and he said, I listen to you on the radio every Friday. And I was like, oh, God, what did I say now? And he said, people should just do what you say. I just don't understand it. I've been here since 1967, and I've never seen this town in the condition it's in right now.
Yeah.
And we went on for like 30 minutes or more, and tried to figure out things that we could do to resolve these issues. Getting a group together, going to city council. There's always strength in mass or whatever, strength in numbers, to try to get something done. And it may boil down to fining people.
Yeah.
Because to get your attention, money has a tendency to talk. And if you have to pay a fine,
Yeah.
and if you're a repeat offender, there's a yard in this town. There's more than one. Let's face it. That really something needs to be happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I've understood that. They fine them, but they just pay the fine and go back to the way it was.
Yeah.
Well, then double it, and then double that, and double it until it gets their attention.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how else, because if parents aren't teaching their kids, maybe the parents weren't taught. But if you can make an impression on a child that this is the way you're supposed to do, maybe they can, because sometimes when they shame the parents because, mother, you're not supposed to throw that on the ground,
Yeah.
it can be a learned trait in reverse, the child teaching the parent.
Yeah.
I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah. Well, something's got to be done, and I think it's one family at a time, it's one parent at a time, it's one kid at a time, and if you see some trash on the ground, I'll do this. I'll be walking in and out of some place, and I'll see some trash in front of the place.
Well, I've had all kinds of weird
things
things show up in front of our office lately, and I walk in, I thought, did these guys not see this? How could you not see this?
But, I mean, that's kind of where it starts. And then, obviously, you want to encourage your kids to pick up after themselves and not leave stuff. And it's going to have to happen that way. We're going to have to start encouraging people to do that. So if folks want to organize a cleanup, okay, you have one other thing to say?
I have another thing to talk about. But if you want to organize a cleanup, give me a holler. 748-3192. I've got a group right now that's going to do one next month, which is great. You don't have to do it this Saturday on our cleanup day. Do it before the end of October. Do it anytime. It's just in a time frame. I just need statistics back as to how many there were in your group and how much you picked up and how long it took you. Very simple. I will provide all the bags and other assorted stuff that goes with it, so you don't have to worry about going and buying anything.
Okay.
But another thing I want you to put down: we're going to hold a composting class.
Okay.
October 30th, 10 o'clock, First Methodist Church Fellowship Hall, which I called the gym the other day. So whatever you want to call it, that's where it will be. Probably be an hour and a half, and all kinds of instructions. This is for household composting, because I know a lot of people like to think about doing that or do it now, and they may not know everything that they can actually put in that and how to start or whatever. So if you're new to it, or if you're already doing it, all I want you to do is let me know that you're coming.
Okay.
Because snacks are important, and of course chairs and anything else that we might put out and provide for you. So more information to come, but put that on your calendar if you're interested.
October 30, First United Methodist Church Fellowship Hall, a composting clinic.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And we have enough Yard of the Week nominees, so I hate to tell you, don't call me for any more, but yards are kind of dwindling down, and I still have some on the list that I'm trying to catch.
Okay.
So I really
let me ask you this on the composting. I've seen this from time to time. Used coffee grounds.
Oh, yeah.
Does that make good compost?
You can put a 2x4 in there.
You
Seriously. Yeah.
Okay.
But obviously not on your kitchen sink. That would look a little weird. But, but yes, there's all kinds of things that, just besides your potato peelings and, stuff like that, because it will compost rapidly. And it's not going to smell because it's deteriorating so quick. And the heat that it generates will just make it not biodegrade, but close, a lot of it.
Yeah.
And then you have a very rich soil to put even in your house plants, or put it in your garden. And you've prevented stuff too from going into the landfill, because obviously if you're using this stuff, you're not throwing it in the dumpster.
Right.
So it's a win-win for every situation.
Okay.
So
be ready for more information on that, but put it on your calendar and make a note, or tell the voice assistant.
Like I said, if you are interested, please
what
just
time
give me
are you
a call.
going to do that?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. So that's a Saturday.
Yes, it is.
Okay. That's the
So,
Halloween.
see, you can knock off an hour, hour and a half, and then still go out of town or do whatever you're going to do that day and still have plenty of time.
Well, that's the big trick-or-treating day in Artesia.
Yes.
So
you still have time
The
to do all
downtown
of that.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
So this won't take up much of your time.
very good. All right, Linda, thank you so much. Enjoy your blueberry muffin.
Oh,
It's sitting
trust
there-
me, I will.
It's sitting there waiting on you.
Yum.
Have you heard it calling you?
Yeah, it's kind of inching closer to me as we speak.
Those are the ants. No, I'm just
No,
kidding.
no.
I'm just kidding. All right, Linda, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And we're going to